Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. You can also find the show on the major platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you can find it at marketingpulpit.com. Show on the way. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood. I am a business developer by trade. What does a business developer do? He develops businesses. So people have been calling me for the last 30 years or so, trying to help get their businesses off the ground. They may be starting a brand new business. They may have a business that's not optimized. They may be contemplating the idea. They may be starting a nonprofit. They may be just trying to put up a website to test the waters. Anyway, that's what I do. I'm also an author. I've written 2 books, one called Played in Full and one called Smarter Than the Boss. And I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College, where I teach social media strategies, I teach marketing strategies, and I teach networking strategies. And I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. And so we're at this, really, that's my purpose, my raison d'etre, my reason for being. Go to marketingpulpit.com and find out more about what we're doing. You can follow the show. You can listen to past shows. You can see what the guests are doing, and we have a blog there. It's a great resource for a small business. So if you're out there, if you know somebody who's trying to get off the ground, then you're not in this alone. That's one of the things I've been saying for years. You cannot do this by yourself. So we're glad to be that resource, that shoulder you can cry on at times. Somebody just want to bounce some information off of, or just come in here and tune into the show. You can sit in the background and listen, or like many people, you can jump into the conversation on the thread. You can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Twitter, you can go to LinkedIn, and just get into the conversation. Drop your questions or comments in the thread, and we'll actually announce them over the airwaves. We're also broadcasting live through simulcast through Radio 195.9 FM WOL, and we have been doing that now for about 13 years, and we have a great following over there. And I'm glad to have Miss Kathy Hughes and Miss Karen Jackson and Alonzo and Ron to be right there with us as we help navigate these waters of business development and getting the word out here into the ears of the people that need this information. It's all about information nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? This is halftime 2023. Can you believe that? 2023 is halfway gone. Man, dang, what happened to the first half? But you know what I like about this halftime is because, like, when you're playing a sports, when you're in a game and you get around halftime, you can assess. You can change up, you can change course, you can right the ship. So we're going to take this time on today to look at where we are in terms of halftime. And I'm going to tell you why. Because right now things are moving at lightning speed. In the old days, you make your plans at the beginning of the year, and 12 months go by, you can say, well, let's look back and see how things, that we meet our goals and so forth. But now things are moving so fast, because if you planned you made your plans in December 2022 or January 2023, Chat GPT wasn't on fire. So you got to readjust. The landscape has changed with some of these new technologies that are emerging. And even since yesterday, we launched a new social media platform called Threads. We're going to talk about that later in the day. So as we go into this show today, let's keep in mind we're at halftime, and we're going to talk about how it may be impacted by some of the things that are going on. And we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about this new social media platform later in the show. We're also going to give some tips on how to navigate this second half of 2023. So we have an exciting show. Also, let's talk about the business directory we have that's really on fire. We've got a lot of things going on right now. So if you have you're a business owner, you're trying to get some traction under your business that doesn't cost you any money, or at least very little money, go to the free business directory at mpi.bz. it is on fire right now. We've got people signing up right and left. Matter of fact, sometimes it's hard to keep up. Let's see what we got here today. We got Tradingo. It's a stock trading platform. We have Chop in a Soul, online boutique. We have Van Druing Heating and Air. We have the Gatewood Brothers. We're going to talk about the Gatewood Brothers. They have an event coming up. We have Apparel Kit out of New York. We have, Depression CNSL. That's a psychotherapist. We have Gentle Hands and Feet. It's one of our nonprofits in the DC area. And we have 222 Productions. Two young men, their parents have been clients of mine forever. They grew up and now they're starting their own thing. And they're having a big event over at National Harbor, the MGM, coming up on September 2nd. Also, we have Stop Killing Us. They're having a big rally coming up in August 26th. Going to help stem some of these killings in the country, no matter who's doing the killing, whether it's the police, whether it's blacks killing blacks, whites killing whites, or blacks, whoever killing who. We're going to try to find some resources, going to pull together some resources and try to stop that. That's coming up on August 26th down in North Carolina. We have the Gatewood Brothers coming up on July 10th. That's Monday. They're being honored by their hometown, and they're going to be featured at the library auditorium coming up on July 10th at 10:30 in the morning. And of course, today, July 7th, we have the BLE First Friday, Miss Bernadette Clay and Company. She hosts this great event where business owners can get together. Like I said, you can't do this by yourself. So we bring business owners together, and she is more than happy to share her secrets of success. She's a big proponent and champion of law of attraction. In other words, what you exert, you get back, and you can surround yourself with some very phenomenal people if you just be phenomenal yourself. We're going to have a special guest, attorney Carl Chin. He's going to talk about generating and preserving generational wealth. So if you're in the DC area, if you're outside the area, it might be a little late in the evening to get here in time for the event because it's going to be at 11:30 today. But if you're in the DC area, come on over to 9701 Apollo Drive at BLE Executive Suites and get yourself some good networking and some good information. I will be there. Yours truly, I'll be emceeing and introducing Miss Clay and Mr. Attorney Chin, and just having a good time. We're going to have food from Panera Bread. We're going to have food from Chick-fil-A, and it's just a great event, and it's just been growing every month. So that's today at 11:30 at BLE Executive Suites, the networking event. So we have a lot of stuff going on. Got a lot of stuff going on. Also had another event coming up in September 16th, Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan. He made an appearance about a month in the fall of last year. Great turnout. He and Rock Newman came in, rocked the house, and they'll be back coming up on September 16th. So look forward to that. So it's a lot of things going on. And so don't sit on the sideline. If you're a small business, one of your strategies that you might embark upon in the second half of 2023 is to not try to do this by yourself. Let's make that a goal. Let's surround ourselves with successful people. Let's create these and embrace these stockholders like suppliers and vendors and contractors and employees and funders and government agencies and community and volunteers. That I hate to be an absolutist, but that is about the only way you're going to succeed in this business world. You have to embrace those stakeholders. And I can't think of a better way to do it than to come out today and join us at BLE First Friday at 9701 Apollo Drive. We have a lot of things going on, some things that are happening in the news. And I'd like to also welcome everybody who's tuning in. Some of you for the first time, and some of my favorite followers who have been following us since we launched the show. Glad to see you joining us again today. And let's see, I see Brother Gerald Brown. Good morning, Mr. Brown, the greatest plumber in town. Always glad to have his support. I see Attorney Bradley Thomas, one of my favorite attorneys in the world. He's been hanging in there with us for many years. He's a great supporter of the show. He has his own show, and he's a big man. He's an intellectual property attorney. As a matter of fact, he supports us so much that he's offering 20% off some of his services when you join the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory. So thank you again, Attorney Thomas. It's people like you that really make us proud and make us successful. I see out of North Carolina, I see cousin Jay Ellis Ratliff. Thank you for tuning in, Brother Ratliff out of North Carolina. Come on down and watch the Gatewood Brothers on a Monday. Be glad to have you in the house. So thank you again, everybody, for the love and the support. And like I said, share this information. It's much needed in our community. We're coming off the 4th of July holiday. One thing I keep saying is why we doing all this celebrating. There's so much going on. We got Supreme Court acting the fool. We just had Juneteenth. Sometimes we need to do less celebrating and do more work. Like the Isley Brothers said, I've got work to do. Practicing for my singing is coming up. Sound like I need a little more practice. But anyway, so we had that, but it came in with a bang. We had one of the hottest temperature-wise on record on July 4th. That speaks to this climate change. I think it's not being taken seriously enough. And we had mass shooting galore. I think it was up to 20-something. People just shooting each other. We had in D.C. area, 9 people got shot. We had up in Philadelphia, somebody goes off and shoots 5, kills 5 people, wounds a few more. I mean, all over the country, there were these mass shootings. We have a problem, Houston, in this country. So that's not the way you want to start the second half of the year. And it's definitely not the way you want to celebrate what's supposed to be a celebration of independence. But we know that story. Like Frederick Douglass said, what is independence to a slave? Anyway, so that's going on. Let's talk about some of the items that are going on in the news. ChatGPT and OpenAI and artificial intelligence is going to be in the news the rest of this year. 2 novelists are suing OpenAI for copyright infringement. I know people like Attorney Bradley Thomas, they have to kind of update their knowledge base to keep up with all this technology and things like ChatGPT. And there's going to be some intellectual property challenges coming down the pike, and they've already started. But these 2 authors say they're pulling this information from summaries of their books, and so they're not too happy about it. So be on the lookout for more of that. Now, here's the big news. One of the big news stories. Meta, which is also the parent company of Facebook, they have launched a rival to Twitter called Threads. Man, I'm telling you, Elon is not too happy about it. Matter of fact, I think I read somewhere, he's already threatening to sue. And it is shaking up the social media landscape. What we're going to do, I'm going to come back, and anybody who hasn't jumped on Threads yet, don't know what the heck it is, I'm going to give you a quick brief. I'm going to give you 8 things you should know about Threads when we come back from the break. So you don't want to miss that. And we have a few other items in the news. Some of the craziness is still going on. Let's see, what else we got going on? We got, oh my goodness. This U.S. Postal Service is encouraging people to stop putting checks in the mail. I think that's long overdue. I mean, that's easy when you think about it. You can tell when it's a check or not. So they got this washing process. They can wash out the old information and put the new information on it and steal the check. So that's happening. And then, of course, we have venture capital money is drying up for startups. Those are some of the items in the news. So we're going to take a quick break. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Bring you the good marketing gospel. When we come back, we're going to talk about Threads. So hang on for a second, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back in a moment.
Let me explain why we are not your typical directory. First and foremost, we don't wait for visitors to come to our directory. Instead, we proactively take our members directly to the shoppers with our aggressive advertising campaigns. For instance, we broadcast our own radio show on Radio 1WOL 95.9 FM, on which we constantly promote the directory and its members. In addition to that, we advertise our directory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also feature our members on individual social media posts. And we invite our members into our studio to tell their exciting story to thousands of potential buyers. So if you're looking for an affordable and effective way to build your brand, find new customers, and grow your organization, do what hundreds of others have done. Join the Marketing Pulpit directory at mpi.bz and get featured on the internet and on the air. Thank you for joining, and happy selling.
All right, we are back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show, and we are happy to be here on another Friday. There's a lot going on now. As promised, the social media landscape has changed. A lot of folks are really ticked off at Elon Musk for getting all into politics, and he's playing around with the blue check mark and limiting the number of tweets you can read. And so people say, look, man, if there was just somebody else doing this, well, of course, Mark Zuckerberg saying, what's that old saying? Find a need and fill it, find a problem and solve it. Well, he launched his platform Threads yesterday. And man, I think last time I checked, it was up to about 30 million people. It's, I think, like 10 million signed up in the first hour, and now it's up to, I don't know where it is now. So everything I say today, put an asterisk beside it, said, as of right now. Because, you know, social media is a fast-moving vehicle. Matter of fact, I teach a course at Prince George's Community College on social media strategies. I have to keep up. I mean, I can do the marketing course. I can take the course from last year and dust it off. Social media, I got to be reading this stuff every day. So let's talk about Threads. Now, Threads, of course, is I don't say it's a knockoff, but it's very similar to Twitter in that it's a micro-blogging platform. Unlike Facebook, which is pretty much a social media network where you're sharing information with family and friends, a little more personal. Well, a micro-blogging platform is really more about the content. It's about fast, breaking, evolving content, and it's very popular with celebrities and news organizations. So it's not like a Facebook. Facebook is more about personal and family and all this good stuff. These micro-blogging platforms like Twitter and now Threads, news organizations love them, celebrities love them, and it's all about the celebrity. Now, here's some quick things you might want to know about Threads, because first of all, if you don't know what it is a microblogging platform, and it's owned by Meta, which is the parent company that owns Facebook and Instagram. Now, you will need an Instagram account to start a Threads account. Like Instagram, Threads, well, let's talk about Instagram. Instagram is basically like for phones. It was really primarily created for people to engage on their telephones. And so with Threads, you can use your Instagram account to start your Threads account. And matter of fact, you need an Instagram account to start. So you go into your phone store and download the Threads app. And a lot of the information that's already in your Instagram account will be transferred over to the Threads account. So you don't have to go in. It's not very difficult to start it. Just go to your phone, download the app, and then just put in your login, and it'll find you on your phone. And it'll just say, look, you want to transfer this information. You want to let the people who are already part of your network be aware that you are now on Threads, and you can choose that option so you don't have to go through and check off all these thousands of people that many of you already have. So that's how you get started. Download the app, and then you can kind of follow the prompts from there. Now, one thing you may not know, but it's good to know that you have little control over what shows up in your feed. So Facebook is using their algorithm based on data, your information, and they will populate the feed for you. So right now you can't tell the feed to show only people that you're following, and you can't put things in chronological order. Threads is kind of calling the shots on that for now. You can include videos and photos in Threads, but it's not like Instagram. Because if you share something like a reel or something like that, it's going to show up as a link. It's not going to bring the photos over. So it's not like another version of Instagram. It's more like Twitter. So if you want to follow most of the characteristics, use Twitter as the example more so than Instagram, even though the information is coming from Instagram. All right, and I'm trying not to confuse you here, so bear with me. Now, Facebook, which is Meta, already has your history. So just know that. So anything that you put in Facebook, anything you put in Instagram, it's also going to be accessible to Threads or to the Meta family. So a lot of the information you don't have to repeat. That's good and it's bad, because some of the stuff you might want to leave over there, but you have control over that. So go to your settings and start making sure that you're on top of things. Now, currently, Threads is not running ads. I know you say, hey, hallelujah. So right now, there are no threads. There are no ads in Threads right now. And for the people just tuning in, we're talking about this new social media platform called Threads that was launched yesterday by Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. So they're just adding to their repertoire of tools in the social media. They want to become they're building an ecosystem, but they've already built an ecosystem. They're just increasing it and making it more dynamic. Uh, Now, you don't have to build your followers from scratch on Threads. Now, many people say, wow, they're thinking it's going to be very daunting. I got to go out here and build all these, send out all these follow requests. Well, you don't have to. When you set up your account, you can select the option to contact the folks who are following you in Instagram, and they will receive a notification and say, look, Robert or whomever wants to, want you to be a follower of their company or their platform. And so you don't have to do that from scratch. Now, once you join Threads, you cannot delete the account without deleting your Instagram account. I know you say, wait a minute now, what's going on? Maybe I just want to get rid of Threads, but not my Instagram account. Well, what you can just do, you can make the Threads account inactive. But if you delete it, the only way you can actually delete it once you set it up is you have to delete the Instagram account too. Also, if you're not sure about Threads, just want to give it a test drive, go in and you can set the account up and make it private. That way people won't be contacting you and following you and all this good kind of stuff. It'll only be available to people you want it to be available to through follows. So you don't have to go all in right away. Now, I thought this was an interesting feature, and I'm going to once again say for now, if you have the verified account, Facebook, Instagram, of course, Twitter, they have these process where you become verified. When you verify your identity, you have to send them your driver's license and pay them like $15 a month. Well, if you're verified in Instagram, the blue check mark follows you over. To me, that's a pretty good feature for now. But like all social media platforms, the initial push is to gain followers, is to build a membership base. So a lot of things that may be free now, that may be easy now, that may not have a lot of ads involved now, may not be that way in the future. So that's basically how the social media platform has been launched. And luckily, once again, think about when you think about social media, always think about your audience. Okay, Threads may not, if you weren't a big Twitter fan, you may not be a big Threads fan either. I mean, once you move to politics, because they're basically very similar, and they're both are microblogging platforms. And you're seeing Threads in its infancy, and some of the things that you're seeing on Twitter now may come into fruition. And Facebook may decide to inject some things from its Facebook platform, some things from its Instagram. The bottom line is you have to stay relevant, stay on top of it. Make sure you understand the settings. Listen to this kind of show. We're going to keep you abreast of what's going on. But that's big news. It's going to shake up the social media platform atmosphere. Now, before we wrap up here, we're going to talk quickly about this 2023 halftime. Just give you some quick tips, because just imagine if you made your plans on December 31st, you're making all these big plans for 2023, and next thing you look up is July 1st, you're at halfway mark. This is a good time to assess. You can't wait until December 31st and say, let me just look back and see where things are, because things are moving too fast right now. That's another reason you want to tune into a show like this. We're going to keep you abreast of what's going on. So my tips to you at halftime of 2023, number one, market in real time. That means you have to follow trends. You have to make sure what's going on in social media. You have to make sure you're on top of things like ChatGPT, and not based on this old model of marketing where you have a chance to sit back and ruminate and run it up flag poles and see what you have to follow the trends and then make predictions on how to move forward to stay ahead of the curve. If you're acting after the things are happening, sometimes you've already missed the boat. So you have to market in real time. And if you're going to err on the side of marketing in the future where things are going, not where they were, you're going to risk getting left behind. You have to be flexible. When you write a marketing plan, a marketing strategy, a budget, just know it's not, you can't chisel things in stone nowadays. You got to be very, very flexible. You have to continue to embrace content marketing. That is the rule of the day. Okay, and you have to apply context. Just like today, I decided to talk about Threads. That was not my initial plan. I was going to talk about some other things, but because Threads just hit the wire yesterday, I decided to make this part of my content today. You have to be flexible, and you have to market in real time. Okay, you have to listen and engage with your customers. Listening, we talked about listening. I'm going to say it again. Listening means paying attention in the social media world. Listen and engage. That's your bread and butter, your customers. Okay. You have to prioritize the customer experience. Make sure you're taking care of their experience. You're taking care of them. See what they're going through and act accordingly. Also, you have to invest in digital marketing. If you have a budget and you're advertising, you better put a line in there for digital marketing. That includes SEO, that's email, that's social media, that's pay-per-click advertising, content creation. You have to put that in your budget, okay, going into the second half of 2023. You have to collaborate with influencers and partners. Like Gatewood, he's an influencer. I'm up here talking to thousands of people. You make deals with people that can help you reach your audience, okay? And you have to constantly evaluate and adjust. And last but not least, even though you're acting in real time, you're marketing for the future, you still have to tie it to your long-term purpose and objectives. I know this is a lot, but that's why you tune into a show like this. Let us help you. We're going to be bringing on guests. We got a good lineup of guests coming on. As a matter of fact, later in the month, we have a business attorney, Margot Thomas. Next week, we're going to have an author, Miss Turpin Housey. She's going to talk about her book. And then on the 21st, we're going to have this talking about this event down in the National Harbor, a big networking event at the MGM Grand. So we're talking about building these relationships. We're going to show you how to do it. Folks, I want to thank you again for tuning in to the show. This is the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. And like I said, if you're in the DC area, come on out to the BLE First Friday Networking event. It's going to be at 11:30 when I get off the show here today. So that'll be, I'll be glad to see you, get a chance to meet me, meet Miss Bernadette Clay, who's built this empire of 3 office locations. She's an accountant. She's also a business coach. And you want to learn from people like that. So come on out to the First Friday Networking event. That's going to be taking place at 11:30 today. I will be there. We're going to have attorney Carl Chin. He's going to talk about building and preserving generational wealth. These are the kind of folks you want to surround yourself with. And we are glad to make that available through the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I'll be there. And as always, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. You've been wonderful. Let me quickly, as we tune out here, I see Carl Brown. Good morning, Carl. Thank you, brother. Carl Brown, a very dynamic person. Kenny Jones. And if you want to be successful, you got to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. Have a purpose, attach it to some type of need or fixing some problem in the community and beyond. Look at the audience that has this problem and have laser focus on that audience. You're not going to solve everybody's problem, okay? But if you focus on that certain problem with that certain audience, you're going to start to see critical mass. Create an exceptional service that addresses the need of that audience. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the code today on how to become one of these successful businesses that we keep reading about. Stop reading about it and start being about it. You need funds. You need partners, people that can lend you money, people that can fund your business. And this whole thing about bootstrapping, I'm going to take a little bit from my paycheck every week, and that's going to fund the business. What happens in that case, in many cases, particularly in these tech businesses, you're going to face obsolescence. Sometimes you need a cash infusion. Putting $50 here and $200 there a month is not going to do it. You're going to end up facing obsolescence. Your business is going to be it's going to be no longer viable by the time you get enough money to reach critical mass. So sometimes you need those funders and you need those partners to help further your mission. You look up one day and the phone just rang and people are calling you from everywhere. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. You could be a accountant, you could be a web designer, you could be a model, you could be an attorney, a roofer. You say, where is all this business coming from? Because what you may not have realized is that you are planting seeds, even when you didn't realize it. That's why you're in this season. It doesn't happen nilly-willy. But what you want to do is harness the power of planting and planning to make sure that those seasons happen.